Welcome to Inches and Cubes, your Toronto-based Warhammer 40k podcast. Now, we're also on Facebook at Inches and Cubes, and on Instagram at Inches and Cubes. Come check us out. As always, it's me, Point and Click Nick.
It's me, Paul, Mr. Fist Fowler.
And me, Adam the Truest Axe.
And,
I don't know what the hell that was.
So, just for clarity's sake, is that an ampersand or an A and D?
both.
Good.
So,
I'm glad that you split the difference and made it like really friggin' hard.
On Facebook, it's an ampersand. On Instagram, because you can't do ampersands, it's and.
got it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we're up there. Holler at us. We can talk back and forth. Check us out on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a review.
Yep.
Seriously, stop listening. We're actually going to stop talking,
You go do your thing.
and you go leave us a review.
We need a 10-star review. We've said it before. You make 2 accounts. You do 5 stars twice. And yeah, that's fine. And I swear to God, if any of you are thinking like, I'm going to do 2 stars 5 times, go to hell. Don't do that. That's stupid.
That's 5 times as much work.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If you're going to do it 5 times, go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's really going to hurt us, but I mean, if you got your stupid joke in, I hope you feel good about it. But yeah,
I like that we're all
Paul's idea.
we're bullying this person that would be taking my weird, hateful, like self-loathing advice.
so we're glad you could join us today. We got a different sort of episode. I don't think we've ever done really anything like this since we started the podcast.
Yeah, this is like a news desk episode.
Yeah, so many of you know Adepticon was last weekend, and lots of cool stuff happened. We're going to be talking about it. But first, we've got... what do we have? Mash Up the Jam! I like that.
Yeah.
This is a dry hop sour from Collective Arts. There's a really cool painting of freaky bunny people on it.
And the reason they have freaky paintings on there is because they allow local artists to be included on all their designs and stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love Collective Arts. Their cans look really nice. Their beers are usually really tasty. They're in Hamilton. They have like a big kind of gallery room.
Where's Hamilton?
Yonder.
Nice.
Yeah. I really like Hamilton.
Cheers. I like it too. A lot of people hate it, but
Sirs?
both my parents are from there.
I come from a town of 800 people, so like.
Whoa, that's good. That's a good sour. I puckered right up there. Oh yeah.
That's not for me. I bought it, and it's not for me. But
Can I see the can?
I love sour beers, man.
I just was like, neat cans.
Mm.
Oh God.
Oh, my cheeks are just.
It is like putting one of those, not jawbreakers,
Airheads.
Warheads.
Warheads.
Oh, yeah.
What are the balls? They're like gumballs, but they're super sour.
Sour gumballs?
Is that what they're called?
I think so. I think
Okay.
like that's one of these
It's
cases.
literally that simple.
Yeah. It's a case of like,
Why? This is like the third time I said this today, but scientists were so preoccupied if they could, they forgot to ask if they should.
well, here we are.
So we're sometimes a beer podcast, but mainly we're a Warhammer podcast.
Uh-huh. Oh man, that is puckery.
Oh, we're still talking about that. It's okay, I'll have yours.
I love pucker type sour.
Me too, man. They're so good.
You know what? This cold in the park, hot summer day, fighting a cop. This is a good beer.
Yeah,
But it has to be fighting a cop.
I'm gonna ignore that part.
Wait, why?
Yeah, like Indie Ale House and like there's Dead Spadina Monkey. It's like a dry hop sour with like a touch of raspberry or pineapple. Give it a little extra citrus in there. It's really nice.
Can we stop putting pineapple in beers?
No,
Okay.
pineapple goes on pizza and it goes in beers.
All right. Well, that's not the way I would do it, but I'll let you have the things you like.
Like thick cut ham, cheese, and pineapple on a pizza.
I had that today.
And it's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also went to Halo, and this is for later. Got a I'll just wait till later.
Okay.
man.
But the hint is it has pineapple in it.
Actually, I'm gonna try that. Actually, that is nice. They're yeah. Anyways, what? Like we were saying, we're doing a news desk episode. So just like dealing with a lot of the new shit that's coming out and the rumors and the hints and all the work that GW is doing. We figured, man, we don't have any ideas this week. Let's just talk about all that.
No, that's not true. So it's normally we wouldn't do this, but there was just so much that was announced, and so much that's game changing. There's a lot of implications behind the direction that they're kind of revealing to us and the way that they're going to go. It's going to be really fun to talk about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But first, we've got our hobby desk, and I'm still on a roll. I just love building plastic kits. I am addicted to it now. I'm going to say it again. So I spent most of Sunday assembling 30 commandos.
Ooh.
Nice.
And as part of my trade with Phil for the Death Watch, I acquired 20 Cromlech and Spellcrow commando heads, which are basically
Those are so good.
really cool orc heads with toques.
I love the toques.
And-
Can you please do them like Hunter Orange?
I was going to do them. There's a toss-up between the Life Aquatique with Steve Zissou, red, purple, because purple orcs are sneakier, and bright hunter orange. So the orc heads have toques, and they also have like a really cool backpack that's got like a bedroll and a stick bomb. Because the idea with commandos for orcs is that they go out and they just hide in the jungle or wherever for weeks on end. They take everything they need with them, and they don't operate as part of the major warband or clan.
Wog?
Yeah.
Well, I
Maybe a
guess it's
wog.
all Wog.
It's all a wog, but commandos are hyper intelligent. Like, one of my favorite stories is purple orcs are sneakier. Have you ever seen a purple orc?
No.
Exactly.
Well done, sir.
But one of my favorite orc stories is like a bunch of commandos sneaking into an Imperial Guard base, stealing 2 Death Strike missiles, launching them at the front lines, taking one of them and just leaving, and the commissar being like, those weren't orcs. Orcs don't do that.
Something strikes me about the bedrolls, though. I don't know.
That orcs sleep?
Yeah, well, and if they do, would they actually sleep in a bedroll?
Yeah.
These would.
The other orcs.
These are Lux orcs.
Yeah. These are true blood axes. They're just trying to be Umis.
Not all of them have bedrolls. Some of them like are grenades and like big pouches and stuff. But yeah, so I did 30 of them. 2 squads of 10 with the orc heads. I only had 20 heads. And the last squad, I just grabbed a whole bunch of heads off the Burner Boys kit. So there's like respirators and bandanas covering their faces. So the last squad looks like that.
I must say they did a good job. They're really cool looking.
Yeah, I really like the one guy who I think you can see down there in the corner. He's like a knob, and he's just got the toque and like the power claw. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Steve Zissou is the way to go now that you put the idea in my head.
Just for funsies.
Yep.
So I also assembled a kit that is 22 years old. The Orc War Buggy. And let me tell you, that's a different time.
It's not good when your kit is older than Men in Black,
Yeah.
the movie. Not just like men wearing black.
But the guy who drives the War Buggy is literally like half as tall as an orc is now. And I put a regular orc torso to make it look a little better. But then the gun won't fit over top. So the rocket pod is actually sticking out to the side a little bit because it's not tall enough to go over the new orc kit head and torso.
My dudes, you gotta redesign some more kits.
Yeah. Which was just...
I mean, there's probably enough resources within the kits that exist to bash them up, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing was just did a little bit of inventorying and cleaning up my new Cerastus Knight Lancer, which I'm super... Paul's just jealous because everyone's getting knights and he still doesn't have one.
I don't... You know what? One, I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. that's how you end up going broke in this game. Like,
It's not joining the arms race.
yeah, real talk. Your dude pays rent. Like, that's what's up.
Didn't you just buy Dorn?
Yeah, on an impulse, like an idiot would.
That's why I can't buy a knight this month.
Yeah,
The very
But-
next month.
Yeah.
maybe a night.
But I am super stoked to put together a Cerastus Knight. Just looking through the instructions, it's super posable. It's not like the Imperial Knight kit. It's like a Forge World Dreadnought, so like the knees fully articulate. So I want to get some pins in there and just experiment with getting them up in a weird position. Connor's going to Connor's going to give me half of a spare Spartan track that he had kicking around. And
The things that people have kicking around sometimes.
and I'm just gonna be able to do like him with like 1 foot up on the Spartan and like coming down with the lance and holding up the shield. So I've got some fun ideas for modeling that guy.
That's gonna look really rad.
Yeah, I'm super stoked, and to try out some newer painting skills that I've acquired recently.
Sweet. Is that the totality of your hobby?
It is.
Sweet. It was a good effort this week.
Yeah, you done did it.
So I had fun this week finishing a bunch of projects that have been sitting around for a while, and it felt nice.
That always feels good.
Yeah. So my Battlefleet Gothic stuff, you guys have been hearing updates, and they've kind of been like, I don't normally paint like this, where I just like bounce between little projects. Like I'm normally super anal about finishing a project in a couple of sessions, and
Sorry.
that's really awkward.
That was rude.
That was very rude.
And I don't know, there was just something about some of these projects where they just lingered for a while, and so I put a coat on these Battlefleet Gothic ships, and then I put another coat on them with the airbrush, and they sat for another week. But this time I was like, no, like I had finished them in the morning on Saturday. I was just like, I'm finishing these today. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens. So yeah, it was fun. I washed them up, picked out some cool little details, did all the guns in silver, and then painted just a bunch of lights in red and orange and stuff to match my Space Marines.
Honestly, they look perfect. Excuse me. They look perfect. Sorry, you were boring.
They do. They look awesome. I can't wait to play a game against them.
And I did the toothbrush flicking on the bases to get the stars
I was
going.
going to ask you, that's what you did, like just white paint on black?
Yep.
Nice.
And then what I did was I took my paintbrush after and did a couple more like
The bigger ones?
bigger stars that are like blinking a little bit, you know,
Nice.
Like a little...
lens flare kind of thing, or whatever
Super
you call
cool.
it. Refracting piece of light.
Yeah.
Just to make it look more spacey. I thought about getting in there with the airbrush and doing like little colored nebulas and stuff to make it pop a little bit, and I was like, nah, that's another couple hours. So.
I wouldn't, like with bases, you don't really worry about it.
Yeah, it looks cool. I've seen them done really cool, but like...
Yeah, for the extra couple hours of work it would have taken, I'd rather just put that effort onto our Battlefleet Gothic boards and then call it a day.
Yeah, because like you would look at it and be like, neat, as opposed to like, that looks really cool. So it's like, nah.
Yeah. It was my thought to incorporate the purple lights that I have on all my stuff, like purple plasma glow and purple, like do purple nebulas in amongst the fleet bases. And anyway, would have been a nice touch, but too much effort.
Dude, all those nebula pictures are colorized by NASA anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't actually look like that.
The radio telescopes are all black and white.
yeah, get out of here,
there you go.
NASA.
That's funny, I didn't know that.
You hippies.
So then another random project that's certainly not 40k related was I finished 5 Gaslands cars. Gaslands is like a little miniature game by Osprey that they don't make models, they just make rules. So you literally go to Walmart or Toys R Us and get $1 Hot Wheels cars and convert them up with your 40k bits to have guns and stuff.
You don't go to Toys R Us anymore. R.I.P. Toys R Us.
Oh yeah. Ooh, what's this?
Paul, you brought this. You can read it.
I brought the other one too. Didn't stop you from taking that.
Doesn't have anything to say on it.
This is Woodhouse's IPA. It's just like a hops forward American style IPA, and yeah, it's kind of woody. Like,
How many hops does it have?
strong beer.
At least 10 hops.
Yeah, it's got 5.
What is it like?
Subtle
Hops,
no-
hops, or hops, hop, or
It's
hops, hops, hops?
subtle notes of citrus, pine, and herbs. A subtle malty backbone helps balance the hoppy bitterness with mild sweetness. The result is a well-balanced IPA that is big on hop flavor.
Nice. Where did you say these guys are from again?
Woodhouse, they're around somewhere, aren't they?
Just Toronto.
Yeah.
Huh.
Brewed in Toronto. Yeah.
Cool.
They're always, like, they're one of the staples at Ted's Collision, a bar that I'm a local at. And they're tasty. And they sometimes have, like, a rotating tap. They've got a nice dark, I think. So.
Sweet. Fun.
Yeah.
I can't find them.
What else you got?
Yeah, the list does go on because I had quite a productive week, which felt nice. I built up some models for a new game we're going to be checking out on the channel called Wild West Exodus. So I built and primed my Warrior Nation figs. So there's 7 of them. You can see the picture as it floats by if you're on Twitch. Did some more work on some Star Trek ships. There's about 20 of those, which was fun. And put in some progress on a Redemptor Dreadnought.
I'm liking the inversed colors.
Yeah.
It's the Yin Yang twins.
That's a cool idea.
That's a shitty rap group, though.
No idea what either of you are talking about, but I really like that.
I don't
that
know if
idea.
Adam knows what he's talking about, but I do, and those guys suck.
Yeah. It's just so kind of like Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Unless they have a chapter master.
Yeah, they do the whisper
And a
song.
Daredeo, and they're just so bad. Anyway, so yeah, the Yin Yang twins are coming up. I got a dead Marine under the guy's foot on this one. And
If you paint him purple, so help me.
Him.
Oh, he's totally gonna be purple.
Fuck. I don't care. You didn't beep out the last time I said fuck on the podcast.
Well, you just gonna pepper him in?
Yeah.
Be nice to Paul.
I
Don't
know.
make him do extra work.
Whatever. It's coming out of his paycheck.
So anyway, so just for
We get paid.
Cat's out of the bag.
For all of you enjoying this in audio format only, basically my first Redemptor Dreadnought that I painted up, he was all white with black plates of armor. This guy's all black with white plates of armor. So there you go. Hence Yin Yang twins. And then I also started cleaning up all of my Forge World stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So 10 last cannons that are underslung.
I love those.
Yeah.
Those are on my Havocs. They're one of the coolest little upgrade kits.
Yeah. Oh, and it was such a clean cast. Like, it was so nicely done. I got 2 Dreadclaw drop pods. I've only cleaned one of them, and it was actually a really nice cast too. And then got some last cannons for Dreadnoughts, and there's something else, but that's pretty good.
Yeah. The Dreadclaws are going to be fun when you build them.
No, they will
They
not.
literally say get a saw
And chop your doors in half.
and chop your doors in half, which is just absolutely bonkers. And then the only thing, because I built the las cannons before, the actual cord that attaches from the las cannon to the backpack, that can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, bending it properly and all that.
I just boiled them,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Standard practice.
but there was a couple times where you boil them too much and they go all wonky.
Yeah, they're super floppy.
Super floppy.
Yeah.
I was in the pool.
Are you making a squad of like a heavy support squad for 30k, Devastators for 40k sort of deal?
Yeah, it's if we do competitive games again, they'll have some last cannons for Gilliman to be annoying with.
Nice.
And yeah, for 30k, it was more for that than it was for 30k.
I think
So-
Hellblasters point for point are probably better than las cannons though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Why not both?
Yeah, and it's also just options. I probably will never use all 10 for this army.
Yeah.
But I figure having 10, you can't go wrong.
Put a squad of 10 with a siege breaker in 30k and give them a because the siege breaker has he has the thing that gives them interceptor, and he also has tank. He also has tank hunter.
Nice.
So you just have a bunch of las cannons hitting on 3s, rerolling pens.
Dirty.
Honestly, that's why I use That's why I love like missile launchers, because it's like strength 8. It's re-rolling pens.
Well, Imperial Fists have tank hunters automatically.
It would be nice if they had that in 40k.
Yeah, but no, they're a fun unit in 30k. I've used them before. I used them against Phil once, and he brought down the big Carbitus, and I was like, Interceptor, and just blew it up. It's like, oh. Like,
They're fun. They're fun for you.
Yes.
Let's.
It's also a 500-point squad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it dies really quick.
Yeah.
It was funny when Paul shot those shatter shells at it, and you had them with hardened armor.
Yeah.
Stupidest. That was the only thing to shoot.
Yeah, that was 15 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back, and I didn't lose a single model.
You lost one.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy inflating his own ego. What is that? Everything that you got done?
I probably missed a couple things, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay.
Oh! There's tons of pictures in there from Terrain Night this past week. We've made a whole bunch of progress on our Necromunda table. We built it all the week before. You guys have already heard about that. Like all the plastic kit parts. But this past week, we put them all on bases, and then we used this cool plastic sheeting that's got some texture on it that looks like metal grating, and put it all over the foam core pieces that we use to make additional buildings out of. And also we put it all over the bases so that we didn't have to do a bunch of sand, and it can kind of blend in with our industrial gaming mats.
Nice.
And so that was really cool. And then we took a bunch of like resin third-party like boxes and barrels and crates from like Puppets War and
Yeah, where'd you get those?
Colin got them from the only one place I can remember right now is Puppets War.
No, where did they come from? Did
Colin.
you buy them for this, or they were just hanging around?
He makes magic with things, and so yeah, he had a bunch of them.
Okay, sure, yeah, makes magic, yep,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Anyway, so yeah, they're just really cool. They really added a bunch of flavor to all of the pieces. Just gave it more character, so that it actually looked like this table is going to have. It looks like it's been lived in, right?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes that's hard to do with terrain, and I think like just looking at the pictures is very smart.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts is I put. So the kits are really cool. These Necromunda kits, they have these little skulls hanging on chains that like
Skulls?
Yeah, they're like these skull
Really?
servo things with like grabby hands and stuff. That it looks like they're meant to like roll around the bottom of these. I don't know, the floors of these buildings, right? They hang underneath, and it looks like they're supposed to do work. You know what I mean? They're like little cranes and like little hooks that lift stuff or whatever. And so this one is like this big giant skull with all these hands coming out. And I put a giant pile of crates underneath him, and then like glued one of the crates into his hands.
Oh, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
I like that a lot.
Hey man, you gotta work.
Gotta do it. Yeah. So
Nothing's for free in the Imperium.
It's an entirely skull-based economy, from my understanding.
Oh yeah, I see them. That's great. I really like that.
Yeah, look at them down there.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's like I love this stuff, but it's like the demon table that we have, where it's just like, how are we gonna make rules for this when we play 40k on it?
what's the issue? What do you mean?
Well, like, how do you get up? How do you get down?
Are there ladders and stuff?
Yeah, there's a bunch of ladders we have to glue on and stuff.
Yeah, 8th edition just does weird things with levels. But it's going to look super cool, even if you're like, yeah, no one can go on top unless you have fly. It's like, okay.
Yeah, easy. There you go. You just figured out how to do it.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of ladders we were just going to spray silver and glue on separate.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then... Yeah, so that'll give you a bunch of ways to get up. Also, you could just call them all runes, and then infantry can go up and down, but nobody can go on the higher levels if they're not infantry.
Makes sense.
Easy peasy.
Did you see that pic that Jim posted of his game?
No.
So it was like an old corner ruin with 2 levels, like small, tiny level. It was like enough room on the second level for Celestine to be up there by herself.
I did see that picture, yes.
And then she was surrounded by a Dreadnought and 2 Grandmaster Dread Knights. And they're like, nobody can charge her.
Yeah. We thought Celestine was screwed until we realized the rules. Yeah.
Yep. Nobody can charge her up there. It's like, wow.
That's dumb.
Yep.
Welcome to the dumb things about 8th edition.
And Jim's totally not a gamey guy, so he just was like,
Yeah, he's like, that's where she'd go, and like, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Yep.
yeah.
Paul, what about you? What have you been working on?
Dorn's done! Top to bottom, dude's finished. Woo! Whoop! 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 Feels good.
I got a question for you.
What's that?
What color is the dead guy painted on his base?
Oh, you know he's purple. And
Paul's still recovering from that campaign game we played.
yeah, no, that's okay. Listen, I told you.
That's fine.
You only put worthy opponents on your bases.
It's true.
Like, don't take it as an insult. I'm not gonna. What? No, get out of here. Don't be salty.
I should have brought you that decal, though, because I feel like he does need the 3.
Yeah, he'd look way better. But
Yeah.
you know, you're a bad friend. So what are you gonna do? Oh, you're not a bad friend. But yeah, the base was a ton of fun to do. So I dry brushed it all the same as I've done all my Imperial Fist base, which is I do the Fang first, then Baneblade Brown, then go up to like Bleached Bone or whatever, Ushapti Bone. But then what I did is hit the bricks with Agrax, and any of the dirt I hit with Sepia. Then once that dried, I hit all the dirt with a brown and a light yellow weathering powder and sealed that in, and it looks really rich. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. The cape is finished. It's not in this picture, but when I was taking the picture, I realized that one of the folds on the inside of the cape looks kind of flat. So I went in with another darker red and kind of gave it a little bit more definition. And
Do you send that into Forge World?
not yet.
We got to get like a good photo box picture of that and send that in, because that's there's been a lot of Dorns floating around on the internet lately, and I wouldn't be one to like give you undue accolades. I'm quite brutally honest with you about most things. That's one of the best, if not the best, Dorn I've seen out there.
Really pleased with how he looks. The purple marine was like really fun to do. I gave him a gold faceplate.
Yep.
Just to make it look like he was an important dude. Yeah, also, the voice of Terra, I did a pearl handle on. Just because with the gold set that I got from the warpainter.com, they give you like a metallic-y green, a pink, and a cream. So I was like, oh, so I did like green underneath. I did pink as a mid-tone. Then I mixed them together and did like all of it the like cream metallic-y color, so it kind of looks like a pearl handle. Because there's like this patent quote where someone like commented on his ivory handled pistols, and he was like, they were like, "Is that pearl?" He's like, "Pearl handled pistols are for pimps in whorehouses." And I was like, "This guy's a pimp." Like, it's like, I think he was trying to be like shitty. Well, most definitely. But I was like, no.
Who is this?
Patton? General Patton?
Oh!
Yeah, I thought for a second you were saying Dorn said this.
No.
Yeah.
Dorn did not say
tense.
it. But yeah, like, I just had a ton of fun. The cape, the skull, and the laurels are like carved, so I just was able to do those metallic and give it a nice wash. I love doing a red cape. It's always nice to have practice doing cloth. Yeah, and then I think that's everything. Oh, and then I have another Dorn that I'm going to start painting for a client that I like.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can only field one in an army.
Yeah, so I washed up. I think I'm going to use Dorn as Gilliman, like in some game.
Play some Ultramarines.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about this. If he does that, then I'm going to use Fulgrim as Abaddon.
Sure.
And play my army as Black Legion.
Sure.
Why not?
Let's try it.
Yeah.
I mean, in a friendly game, I got no problem with that kind of stuff. But yeah, the face turned out good. I can't say enough good about that Scale 75 metallic set from thewarpainter.com.
Where?
Thewarpainter.com.
Awesome.
All your esoteric painting needs. Yeah, it's just like a really, really good kit. I'm probably I want to get their flesh kit, but I just don't have enough flesh to be painting.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was like, oh, wait, they got Xeno. Oh, wait, no. You play the only Xenos faction. The only Xenos faction with 0 flesh.
There was a whole thing about it.
I mean, I guess there's bits of flesh all over them.
Yeah, on some of them.
You could do your whole army as flayed ones and just, like, do green stuff flesh on everybody.
That would be gross.
And super cool.
And gross. But, yeah, that's what's up. And I, just a minute ago, was looking at those Wild West Exodus stuff that I'm going to have to do. Going to have a lot of fun with the weathering powders.
Get to do.
Going
to have to.
Not what I meant. No, like, I'm going to have a lot of fun with all the metallics on that, just because I feel like all the dogs and the vehicles, I'm just going to be able to dry brush, like, all the way up, and then just really work in powders and give them like, a really cool rusted appearance, and then weather them with just, like, streaks of bright metal, so it looks like rusted metal that's been kicking around lately.
Did you go with Outlaws or Lawman?
I don't know. I think Lawman. I just like Doc Holliday a lot.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good session. Is there anything else hiding?
Cleaned up the hobby desk a little bit. It's always important to do that. I need a new mat. Adam, where'd you get this giant mat?
Yeah,
Fabric store.
Emily got it for me somewhere.
Yeah, it's a fabric store.
Okay.
Like any knitting or sewing supplies place, you can get like good cutting mats.
Home Sense.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'd love to get a bigger one.
It was pretty cheap too compared to hobby stores. Hobby stores are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they really are. Like the little tiny green one I got, I think was like $20 at Niflmart. It's like, yeah, that's too much.
I think this is like $15 or $20 for this huge one.
Oh,
Yeah, I got
and that's self-sealing too, right? Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I picked mine up at a sewing store when I was in there once.
So that's something that I'm going to need to get. And I also super glued my shower head back together because it broke.
Heyo.
No. I was gonna ask. Don't want to know.
That's a funny story.
Don't want to hear it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a really funny story.
Is it like your concussion story?
No, nothing like that at all. So it's a low flow shower head, and I was just getting so frustrated with it that I took it apart one day, and I found out why it was low flow, because it's like the shower head, and then it's got like a little tiny like hole for the water to go through in the shower.
Yeah, like a governor.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna go get a drill, and like I got a drill, and it's cheap plastic, and it cracked the housing, so I was able to drill out like a good like 1/4 to a 1/2 inch to make it like a decent pressure, but the whole housing was broken, so I had to super glue it back together, and then I covered it with like a 2-part epoxy, and then wrapped it in Gorilla Tape. And then last night I turned on the shower, and it just went so I fixed it. It's hobby. I use super glue.
Sure. Also, I used Milliput for the first time to do some soft armor sculpting. And that stuff isn't like green stuff, where it's like, it needs a minute to sit after you mix it, I find. Because it's like, it feels like clay just for a second, where it's like kind of pilling in your hands and like sticking to your fingers. But you give it like 2 minutes after you mix it together, and it's like got a really good consistency, and it dries rock hard, like little pebbles.
What were you doing Milliput for?
Oh, the sergeant or the captain that I'm doing with the jump pack and the Thunderhammer.
Oh, nice.
Like his arm is up and pointing, and you can see the armpit joint.
Oh, so you're kind of just doing like the lines of the
the soft,
whatever it's called.
I don't know. I've just been calling it soft armor.
The black carapace? No, it's not.
No, that's under his skin, silly. But yeah, like, just it's a good product, and I recommend it.
Good.
Yeah.
What about games played? Did we cover those?
I'm playing a game tomorrow. I'm super stoked for.
General's Armchair.
But no games.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Who are you playing tomorrow?
I'm playing Nick Wilkins. He's bringing a ridiculous salamanders list against my orcs.
You're not doing a 3K though, right?
No, just 2K. I'm like, yeah, it's one. Our D&D group couldn't get together this week, so we were like, hey, let's just play a game because both of us have free time. And yeah, so I was like, I want to try to like get this orc list like kind of fine tuned. And he's like, I'm just gonna bring a list where everything has flamers, also 2 thunder cannons. I'm like, rude.
To be fair, that's his army. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like he's list tailoring.
No, not at all. But it's just
Yeah.
funny because I'm like, okay, so
Shoot.
well, not really, because like my whole list like relies on popping up at exactly 9 inches and making that charge.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, you got flamers, that's cool. I charge out of the range. But it'll be interesting to play. I'm really stoked to try the 30 commandos and Storm Boys that I got painted up last week, and a suicide burner bomber.
This is gonna be
It's
weird.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I need to arrange a game.
I got a game tomorrow too.
Nice. Who you playing?
Matt Schnarr from the league.
Awesome.
Oh, he's
That'll
one
be
of the
fun.
nicest guys.
No, he's not.
I think he
He's
is.
a terrible human being.
He's a horrible human being.
True.
And that's coming from Adam.
Yeah, he's a jackal that learned to walk like a man.
He is probably Carlos the Jackal.
I think so.
I think so. Just in a new body. Yeah, I was super stoked. I'd like to play a game against one of you guys soon. Battlefield Gothic for sure, Adam.
Yeah,
or 30K.
We got to spend a few hours and just play like 3-4 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hammer out the rules. I'll run you. Like I'm still rusty on them, but like I've played a couple games recently. It's a fun game. It's kind of frustrating because you like roll a ton of dice and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
Yeah.
everything needs 6s to hit, and you're like, no, it doesn't do anything.
And every time you look at that chart, and then you have to do the bad shifts, and you're like, ooh, 20 shots. Oh, wait, 1 shift, 10 shots. Oh, wait, the other shift, 5 shots. What am I hitting on? 6s. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been 20 shots.
Yep.
I don't want this. I don't like.
That's why I like lances.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Paul's know what we're talking about.
No, I don't truck with no BFG. Just because like the ships are so hard to find and they're so expensive on eBay, I'm like, no, I'm not.
I know, but it is such a good game system. I find it's like really strategic versus tactical. Like you're thinking like 3-4 turns ahead because of the way the ships move. It's not like, oh, I pivot on the spot. It's like, no, I have to go half my distance, then turn 45. So you really have to like be like, I want my ship to be there, and then your opponent does something weird, and you're like, oh crap, if I'm there, I'm dead.
Yeah, there's that lumbering, like, big ship, like, mentality there. Where you have to be able to plan ahead and adjust.
Yeah.
If you had a Chaos Fleet, would you be upset about it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Like not mad. No.
Okay.
I'd probably do Black Legion if I were to paint a Chaos Fleet.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. Just like black and gold.
He's got a chaos fleet.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I can't do you
No.
because like it would be silly to have a Lunar Wolves and a Black Legion one.
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering what I should do with it. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Give it to Paul to play with.
He's gonna sell it on the podcast.
I mean, that's part of it too, right? Is it's already painted, so you could even just use it to play games with, or you could strip it and repaint it.
I think just use
depending
it.
on what happens.
Just use it to play games with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of cool. Your Connor's got an Imperial fleet. Get 4 of us together. Play a little mini campaign.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
Or I could paint it yellow and call it pre-heresy.
It's true.
Yeah,
It is true.
that's where all those ships came from.
That holds up in the fluff for about like 10 seconds of Battlefield Gothic. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. Because then the Space Marine's like, we've had this ship since the Great Crusade. It's like, then why doesn't the Chaos Fleet have it? Yeah, anything else we want to touch on in this section? Oh, I wanted to ask you, and maybe people on this, doing the turquoise thing on black, because I got the Imperial Knight. I'm going to do House Malinax, I think it is, which is like black, and then some of the armor plates are half and half white and black. So
Okay.
do you just do like edging turquoise color on?
Yeah, so I mix in Paul sent you the tutorial.
Nice. Okay.
But I mix in Sotek Green, which is the equivalent of Hawk Turquoise, what that used to be. And then Bone for that. So black mixed with that turquoise, and then add Bone for the final, like...
Cool.
Yeah.
Because that'd be super... That's exactly the look I'm going for.
Yeah, man.
Off
Use
of
it.
that,
Use it. Steal it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's take a little break, and let's come back with our main topic.
Whoop, whoop,
Yay.
whoop.
Battle Brothers Studios, a commission painting service passionate about making your miniatures and your gaming table look great. Our philosophy at Battle Brothers is this: your army is our army. Every model will be something you can be proud to show off. send us a message on facebook.com/BattleBrothersStudios for a free quote and make that dream project come to life. We also have something special planned for the release of 8th edition of 40K. Right now, get 20% off if you commission us to paint an 8th edition starter set, or get a 10% off Army Bundle bonus for painting up your new 8th edition 40K Army. Inquire with us on Facebook for full details.
You know, when I'm not cracking cold ones, I'm popping paint pots and putting brushstrokes on miniature figurines. And you know darn right that I'm getting my supplies from thewarpainter.com, a hobby store in the Great White North. Thewarpainter.com is Canada's greatest hobby store for all things hard to find. Scale 75, Broken Toad, The Army Painter, and Valet Ho. All supporters of Encounter Wargaming get 10% off their first order with the code EWG10. They got you covered.
And we're back for our main topic. What do we call this?
News desk.
News desk. 40K news desk. Beep 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 beep.
It's a Pulse Adepticon news flash. Here it comes in from Toronto, Canada.
That was a good
That was a
voice,
good tin,
Adam. That was awesome.
good tin can, old timey radio, transatlantic accent voice.
Yeah, so there's no real order to these things. We're just going to talk about them in order of interest. So one of the big things that came out is we now know the next 3 codexes that are coming out of the current 3 codexes that are coming out. So the current 3 codexes that are coming out are Tau, Necrons, Dark Eldar, which we're super stoked for. We're going to talk about Dark Eldar in a little bit as another little preview coming out.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we're getting the Imperial Knights, Harlequins, which I'm kind of excited for. I'm hoping that this edition can bring them out into the forefront. And Death Watch, which, that's cool. I just traded them away.
Well, listen.
It's fine. I think, again, I don't know. Maybe this is the time where Death Watch, because in 7th edition they were not their own standalone codex.
No, they're gonna. I feel like both the Death Watch and the Harlequins are going to function a lot like the Custodes Codex, where if you want to be a bad person, you're going to take like 1 unit, spam it 10 times with the Supreme Command detachment, and you're going to ruin people's days. Or you use it as a supplementary detachment to your Dark Eldar or your Space Marine or Imperial Guard army.
Yeah. I'm really... I don't know. I'm wondering if in this codex there'll be like a Renegade Questoris option.
Oh, so we're talking about the Knights?
Yeah,
just everything.
Let's focus on one at a time. I think it'd be easier. So
That's what I thought we were doing.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Death Watch and Harlequins in the same sentence.
Yeah, because they're both supplemental.
Okay. I thought we were just talking about all 3 of
So
those.
there it is.
Imperial Knights. Let's start there.
I'm not going to teach you how to write an essay.
Imperial Knights. Oh, wait. This is more important. Beer.
Ah!
Come on now.
What's that beer?
It is Saint of Circumstance Citrus Blonde Ale.
This is a delicious beer, also from Collective Arts.
Yeah.
Saints and Circumstance. This is actually one of my wife's favorite beers.
Do you want to wake her up?
Like, hey, sweetie, come be on the podcast.
Drink a beer.
No, that's probably her worst nightmare. Being stuck in a room full of nerds talking about things she doesn't understand.
I've seen her in that exact situation many times.
Yeah.
Long-suffering Adam's wife.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's the best.
You bring the baby to that basement.
Baby's got to know, all right?
So yeah, we got a new knight model, the Castellan, which just looks like a mini Warlord Titan.
It totally does.
I mean, just is a funny
Yeah.
thing. Like, it's a pretty intense looking model. I think it's going to look nice with the Hawkshroud colors.
Yeah.
Nice and yellow.
So what I'm seeing on here are lots of guns. I'm seeing some melta-guns. I'm seeing the Torox battle cannon on the shoulders.
Is it on the regular knight chassis?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the close-up on those legs. It's the exact same legs, but the front leg is switched.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think what you're looking at is just a different carapace on the same chassis. You've never put together a knight?
No.
Uh,
I feel like I'm getting
But
some
I have.
shame thrown
yeah.
at me.
No. But you know what I mean, right? Like you put the skeleton together, and then the final top shell piece goes on.
Yeah.
So you could do a lot with that.
And it's not just the top shell that's different. It's every single armor plate on that chassis is new and different. So the shoulder pads are different. The knee pads, thigh pads, crotch pad. They're all very sleek, very cool new designs of those.
So it might have a couple more wounds than a normal knight. It doesn't. I didn't see any close combat weapons. I see a magma las cannon, which is off of the Porphyron, who Paul informed me was castrated in Greek myth.
Yeah, they were one of the giants. Because, like, in Greek mythology, the Titans, like, it's funny because there's a prehistory to Greek mythology. Yeah. So it's like there was a war between giants and Titans, and then the Titans were like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then there was a war between the gods and the Titans, and now the gods are like, "Yeah, that's pretty good." So it's like these things are cyclical, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, like I like the look of it. I'm not hugely drawn to like the Knight Codex. I think it's 1, the low model count, 2, the high buy-in, 3, I don't want to paint a huge thing. But for people who like that, this is a very exciting time, and I don't want to take away anything from that.
No, and I think it's much more easy to deal with. I don't think knights are as scary as they were in 7th. Heavy bolters wounding on 5s, dropping them to a 4-up save.
Yeah.
Like mass heavy bolter fire will bring these things down eventually, which is kind of cool.
But it's still only winning the guardsman on 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wounds a knight on a 5, but a guardsman on a 3.
And a space
Something's
marine on
wrong
3.
with that.
Yeah, the wound thing has really benefited low toughness guys. But yeah, so there's like the magma las cannon, a big plasma gun that I do not recognize. It's bigger than the Redemptor's plasma gun by far.
Oh, certainly.
So I'm super stoked to see what that does. And yeah, some missiles on the back.
Yeah, they look kind of like Hellstrike missiles, or I mean, they're certainly not. What are those? What are those one-shot missiles that go on rhinos called?
Hunter killers?
Hunter killers. Yeah, they're certainly not hunter killers.
They kind of look like they're AA missiles the way they're configured. Kind of like behind the neck, pointing up instead of like pointing forward, or they're like mortar missiles. That's really bothering me. Come here.
But I got stuff still in my beard?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, you threw it.
It was like that was like a huge chunk of something.
Was it?
Oh, popcorn. It was popcorn.
Oh, okay.
That I was just eating, everyone. I showered right before I came here, and I ate popcorn in the shower.
I think that's all the information we've... It's just like a teaser on the Knights. Oh,
Yeah.
no, we got the Armiger Warglaive.
Yeah, which
That's a
is
new
super
thing.
cool. We all saw them come out in that Forge Bane box. And you were saying, like, high cost of entry? I think, like, if I'm GW, I'm thinking, okay, almost... Like, most people have a knight, unless your name's Paul. Most people have one.
Okay, guys.
Because they just bought it just because it's cool.
Yeah.
Right? And now we can put these little guys out in this sweet box set. A bunch of people just buy those things just to get those little guys, and then maybe start 2 new armies. And then you have a super heavy detachment already.
True.
It gives you 3 command points. You have 3 knights because you have your one that you've been sitting on from when it came out. Those 2 little guys.
Yeah.
Throw this guy in. Maybe a 1,500 point, 2,000 point army.
And we're also seeing the reason why there were 2 in this box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to take 3 of those guys. You're going to do what you said. You're either going to get the 2 to supplement the knight you already have, or the Castellan. Also, someone needs to just mail GW a thesaurus, because they use the same, like, 50 words for everything. This is a Centurion, but also this is a Centurion. This is a Castellan, but also Castellan's a rank in the Black Templar. And this is, like, it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, there's other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Help me out.
Do it. Somebody send the mail.
I will.
But I'm excited because hopefully now, like, so I played it against a knight army, that ITC tournament we ran once, and it was just 5 of the exact same knight, right?
Yeah.
This will give it way more flavor.
Oh, for sure.
The little guys, the bigger guys, and I'm excited. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, a couple people were posting online when they got Forgebane, that the sprues for the armigers seem to be missing parts.
Because the instructions reference two faces that don't exist in the box.
So what I'm thinking is, because I look at it and I look at the rules that came out for it, I'm like, this doesn't seem to fit what the knights need. Because the knights, to me, look at that guy. He's got tons of heavy anti-vehicle firepower. Like the the armigers to me are meant to mop up troops and keep anti-tank troops away from the big Titan.
See, I really think that, the way that they're configured in this box does the opposite. It's for taking down your either elite troops or heavy armor. And a regular knight with either the chainsaw and the battle cannon, that mows through infantry better than.
Yeah, he's saying they need to be infantry, but they are anti-tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what you said. That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They need to be, and that's what might be missing in the current release in the box set.
Mm-hmm. I heard that floating around as a rumor that there's other potential weapon options that aren't on.
Because if you gave it an onslaught Gatling cannon, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially if it hits on 3s.
I don't think it does because it's not a super heavy. I don't know if it has the rule where it can move and shoot without penalty. And I don't know if the thermal spear is assault or heavy. It might be assault, which would be really awesome.
But there'll be a stratagem or a knightly house that lets you move and ignore the penalty for heavy blah 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 blah.
So yeah,
probably
that's Imperial Knights.
Or your warlord gives them a reroll, which is cool. So you keep these little knights hovering around this big warlord knight or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Harlequin's Death Watch, cool.
Yeah, Harlequins. I don't think we're going to see many new releases with them.
No.
And same with the Death Watch.
They're both too new. They both came out around the same time.
Yeah. I do. There was a cool thing that I saw on Reddit where someone was talking about Lilith Hesperex, hanging out with. Oh, is it called the Jester King? Just a very important Harlequin with the mask, and he's just acting like a mime, and she's just looking at him, being just thinking in her head, just I want to kill him. I want to fight him. I know it would be awesome if I fought him. And she's just thinking about this guy with his mask cracked and his weapons broken, and he just turns around and does this little clowny nah with his hands, and she's ah! And he just goes back to doing whatever he wants, and she's just how did he know? Because she wasn't saying anything. She's I'd like to fight him. He's no, you wouldn't. And I love that idea. Just this mimey Harlequin being I'm terrifying.
Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Harlequin Codex, I'm excited to see how their psychic phase works, because I'm sure it's going to be bananas.
Yeah. They'll have their own powers for sure.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of low warp charge buffs. We probably see a lot of 5 or 6 minuscule things that add up.
I don't think we will. I think
that's how Eldar work.
Yeah, but I think these guys work best on their own.
How does that contradict?
Yeah,
explain it to me more.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it'll be minuscule things like that. I think it'll be huge buffs for the units themselves. I don't know if they'll be affecting other units.
No, that's what I meant. Themselves.
Okay.
But similar to how Eldar work, where they have 12 available psychic powers, right? Because when you have so many psychers with 8th edition, and you can only cast 1 psychic power per turn,
right,
of each type, having that
deep
playbook means that you're going to be getting off maybe it's just a psychic power that allows you to reroll 1s, or it's just +1 to hit for that unit. So not devastating mortal wounds, but when you've got 2 to 3 psychers in a unit, it starts adding up to make that unit. If you get all the psychic powers that the unit can get off, that unit is now brutal.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You just you stack yourself into a steamroller.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I could see them getting some psychic powers that allow them to break rules. Maybe do things out of sequence, or just be a little bit tricksy.
Well, for sure they're going to have a pile in 6 inches and not have to end up closer to the enemy model.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because they used to have a rule where they could like flip over people
Yeah.
at the end of the fight. At the
It's
end,
the
like,
grav harness.
yeah, they just move however they want,
Yep.
which would be super cool to see.
I think Codex Deathwatch is going to be essentially Codex stratagems.
Yes,
Like,
it definitely will be.
You're gonna have so many tools in this kit. It feels like that's the only way to make these guys work. Where
That's
it's
how
like,
it worked in 7th, right?
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I'm up against orcs. I'm going to use the orc stratagem. I'm up against Eldar. I'm going to use the Eldar stratagem. Like, and hopefully it'll be like, this is just how we deal with that.
Adam noticed that we're out of beer, and he's gone to fetch us some more. What a
good.
good guy. But yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping Codex Creep is real and the orcs come out last and get to absolutely steamroll everybody.
I don't think we have to worry that if Codex Creep is real.
Yeah. But it says Deathwatch will be getting some Primaris Space Marines and specific stratagems for dealing with the vile and varied Xenos.
Okay. So, yeah.
So just a quick thing next that was kind of revealed was combat roster. And this makes me wonder about like our meta and the meta in the game. Like, how many people out there are actually playing with power level?
I don't know.
Because like this is a online app for building army lists, but not for match play. And they're like, oh, this is in high demand. So I wonder how many gaming groups out there are actually playing with power level, and are we, as our little corner of this hobby, because we're pretty dead set against power level.
I have a thought right after this.
Sure. Ooh, that looks good, Adam. I like that bottle. It's like a big stubby.
Yeah. This is,
I get that a lot.
This is Halo Brewery's growler, and so you like buy the bottle, you own the bottle, and then every time you fill it, it's the equivalent of like paying $1 less.
Yeah.
So pretty good system. So this is a Brett Saison sour with pineapple, and I probably forgot one other thing that this is. It's like all the things in
Cool.
a beer.
Turbo Hangover is what it is.
Yeah, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm excited to hear your feedback on it.
F your couch. Yeah, I like the idea of Deathwatch getting Primaris. I hope that it's not just a what? What's
So we're
that?
completely glossing over what I was just talking about with the power level and the new app.
Oh yeah, I got
He totally just
He went back,
switched
I-
gears.
He went back 5 minutes in the conversation.
Yeah.
What?
So here's my thought that I said I would get to. Because Paul just had a big brain fart.
Yeah, I really like that new Imperial Knight model.
So, anyways, I just finished Dorn.
So this is why we drink beer on the podcast. That's Paul's reaction to the beer.
Yeah, this tastes like juice.
It does taste like
does.
juice.
This
like
this
juice.
tastes like a good beer for getting
It
babies
tastes like
drunk.
juice that went bad.
Yeah.
I looked at it on the menu and I was like, I really want to try that. I don't know if I want a growler's worth, but I really want to try it.
So you got a growler's worth?
Yeah, it's like it's not that tart enough. It's
Yeah.
a little bit too much of the pineapple juicy
It
sweet.
needs a little bit more of a sucker punch.
Yeah. Okay, so my thought on it is I don't think that most people use power level. I think most people use points, but this is to continue kind of that GW angle of wanting to be accessible for new people
Yep, that's
and
fair.
encouraging people to start there,
Yeah.
always on all fronts, and that brings them into the hobby.
Yeah, and then on that note too, I heard a couple interesting things that might be true for the future of 40k, and it's kind of been a pattern in Age of Sigmar. Is apparently in the rules for Age of Sigmar, there's a lot of units, models, combos, like army builds that just aren't possible in matched play. So like you get them in the in the actual codex and like the whatever they're called in Sigmar, I can't remember, but you can't actually use them in match play, like detachments and whatever they are in Sigmar.
So they want you to be able to, at first glance, use the full range that they've put all this work and
Yeah.
time and effort into, and it's probably super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But then, I mean, having those two modes of play is beneficial and good. Like, we all know that there's so many issues with Battlescribe. It actually probably is complex to keep up with a complex point system with these generators. And so leaving it at like, oh, I brought 5 Stern Guard Marines. That's whatever power level that is, 6 or 7, right? Oh, okay, so 7. Oh, I added 5 more. Well, 7 plus 7 is 14. Rather than like, okay, 65 points for the Marines, plus 10 points for this, plus 20 points for that. Plus you gave them, I don't know, all melts. Like it just gets complex. And I think for the sake of ease, they'll leave it at power level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like power level.
Can I see the chat?
Oh yeah, no. Val's just. I'm giving Val some vinegar.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to have an app. They did say they are going to eventually release a specific app for match play, which will be awesome. I think we talked about that.
They did hint at that?
Don't worry, match play fans. We haven't forgotten you. Combat Roster will later be joined by a Warhammer 40,000 app.
Wow.
Which will feature a match play list builder.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, well, that's what we called when we did the FMK episode, and people asked about the future.
Yeah,
and it makes a lot of sense to have that available because again, I think it just makes it more accessible,
and it allows them to be able to push updates and FAQs properly through their own proprietary methods that they can control.
Because, like, honestly, I have no idea where to get the points cost for my army anymore.
Right?
Like, I don't.
You literally have to like print off the FAQ and like paste it in your codex if you want to stay up to date.
And it's like that's a bad business model. And it's good that they've realized, like, listen, we can't rely on third party apps like Army Roster or not Army Roster, Battle Scribe or the other ones. Quartermaster. Like we should take over this.
Yeah. Or books.
From a financial standpoint too, it makes sense. If you can monetize this even to a tiny amount.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I'd pay for it if it worked and if it was up to date.
Yeah,
and if it was, that's the only 2 things I want actually.
Well, yeah, because it would be like a big event. You could be like, you have to submit your list using this app, and then everyone's using the same app.
Beautiful,
right? It's not like, oh, I'm using Quartermaster. I'm using Battle Scribe. Oh, I used a calculator, like an actual calculator, not on my phone, and a mechanical pencil.
I'm pretty sure every single list I've submitted has not been accurate since I joined the club. It's any event that we've run.
It's tough. It's super weird to get it right.
Yeah. Here's a note, actually, just business model wise. So Infinity, which we've briefly talked about because I do play that game here and there.
What the hell is Infinity?
They have their own proprietary army building app on their website that is immaculate, and the business application to this is now they have all this data of who takes what models, how often, and if GW had that information of at every event worldwide, how popular are all the different units that we make. There's great business application for that because then they know what to boost.
Big data, man.
It's huge data.
Because then, especially if Games Workshop is able to do a tournament app like Best Coast Pairings, plug that data in. Oh, you can just figure that stuff out. The FAQs can just be written by an algorithm. Please don't do that.
Yeah. And like,
because right now they're paying people to walk around these events and see what people are using. Whereas if they can just totally centralize that,
it make for a better experience.
It would certainly be more accurate information to make better decisions.
And
for sure, and more accessible for somebody going from that power level to that match play.
Great point,
right?
And also, like, I just think it makes a lot of sense to completely own your product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's my big thing from, like, a product standpoint. Like, why rely on these third parties? I like Battlescribe. I use Battlescribe. But, like we said, like, why allow a third party to do that if you can control it in-house?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's just me.
So, yeah, we called this. I just want to say that we did call this as the future of the hobby, which is absolutely fantastic. So next on the list we have Necrons. I think these guys deserve. We did a faction focus on them already, didn't we?
We did.
A fun time.
No, we
did
a full episode on them.
Yeah,
for 8th or is back in 7th.
We've only been doing this podcast for 8th.
Yeah, we did an index focus with a fluff focus.
Yeah,
right.
we didn't do a codex thing.
Right.
I haven't really had a chance to look at the new codex stuff. But I think it does deserve its own.
Yeah.
At least half an episode. Maybe we can do Necrons and Dark Eldar at the same time. No, they're too big. Dark Eldar deserve their own.
Yeah.
We tried that once for Space Marines, and it
was 2 hours. It was 2 hours long.
Yeah, we can't do that to anybody ever again.
But so the Necrons came out last Saturday. We've been drip fed some stuff. Actually, the beta codex got released on the interweb, and we all saw it.
Yeah.
But now the real codex is out, so we can pretend that we're actually talking that we saw that.
Is it? Or does it come out Saturday?
It's out.
It's out?
It's out.
I think it's out, isn't it?
Why don't I own it?
I
Why don't you own it?
What came out last Saturday?
Forgebane.
Forgebane. Get out of here, you big liar.
Yeah, I don't think it's out yet.
Well, this is easily accessible.
Yeah, we're arguing over facts.
But yeah, so Necrons are out or not out or out for pre-order. One or the other. No, because I think Dark Eldar are out for pre-order. But yeah, so Necrons have some cool. What are they called? Dynasties?
Yeah.
It's on pre-order. There it is.
Yeah. It's not out yet, you damn fool.
So it'll be coming out this coming Saturday, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So one of their dynasties has like -1 AP to all their weapons.
Within 6 inches. Within half range.
Which is in half range, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is automatically advanced 6, and when you advance, you ignore all terrain in the way. Which people, I don't think, understand how good that is. Like, you're just moving 12, phasing through everything in the way, including enemy models.
I do understand that,
Yeah.
and that's why I need to grab some of those cheap wraiths that are going to be knocking around so I can make 2 units of 10.
Yeah.
Not 2 units of 10.
Yeah,
sorry.
please don't do that.
No, I would be so bored. Yeah. Also, they need to up the base size of that model. That thing topples over like as soon as you think about it too hard.
Well, I'm doing that with my Storm Boys. I'm going to go to Canadian Tire when I get a chance and buy a whole bunch of actual lead fishing weights and just hot glue them to the bottom of the Storm Boy bases. Did you do anything with the Storm Boys when you built them because they were toppling over?
For Val?
Yeah.
The ones that he did already came with magnets glued to the bottom, so I can't fully remember.
No, it might have been for like a tableware case.
Yeah, something like that.
Makes sense.
Or his what are they called? Movement tray bases or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so here's an interesting point here is, I mean, we're about to touch on the next one, but just because we've touched on 4 in a row already, there's like codex after codex after codex after codex, and what I see, since we're talking kind of 10,000 feet in the air, big picture kind of stuff, is GW being dedicated to making sure everybody has a codex that is up to date. As opposed to having some kind of stuck in previous edition kind of mentality.
Yeah.
With like multiple design teams working on different books. Like
we still are seeing multiple like rules writers on different books. That's why like things just seem there seem to be like some rules that are written where it's like, well, this would be like fun to play against, and then there are other rules that seem to be written where it's like this would be really fun to play as. So the difference between like Nick's 10 last cannons that can like intercept anything and just wipe it off the table versus like
which is 30k,
but still it's it's
sure that mentality.
Yeah, like one's like really fun to do, and then there's one that's like really fun to play.
I've always kind of felt that with Games Workshop is that I think the best way to say that is like some codexes feel like you're an NPC. And some codexes feel like you're the player character in a video game.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't, like, as the player character, you want to have all these cool abilities and be able to win all the time, but you don't want to face the same enemy over and over again. And I felt like that was the thing in 7th. Like, orcs in 7th were very much like one-trick pony. This is what we do.
Yeah, they're the bad
only
guys.
thing we do. We're the bad guys. We have no depth. We have no tactical ability. Whereas, like, yeah, and then we go back to Chaos 3.5 because I'm always going to bring that up. That was
back in my day.
That was a codex where somebody sat down and was like, "I want to write a codex where Chaos is like the center. They're going to be powerful. They're going to be unique. They're going to be cool, and the Space Marines get it too. Eldar seem to get it every edition.
I don't think the Space Marines got it this edition.
No, they don't. But they usually do.
So, and here's a reveal from Adepticon. Like, Tyranids are like a top contender right now, and they never really have been.
Well, are they a top contender, or is one unit in the code?
Hive Tyrant.
Well,
this is
it still points to something, right?
And the fact that they recognize that and they're having some sort of reaction to it is cool. I really wish that there was not a penalty, because I don't like penalties on stuff. Can
we hold off on the FAQ stuff?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the new stuff. So we're still stuck on Necrons.
Necrons are going to be super friggin' dope. Not a lot of new models, just a new Cryptek.
Yep.
But I do think that all the hints and like the leaks that we've seen so far, you're getting a lot of cool new builds. So like the models that you have had that were like, well, if I could run like 2 more things sort of like it, or like if I could supplement my wraiths with scarabs, I might be able to do a little something else. You're going to be doing that. This army is going to be an army of multiple detachments with different dynasties, I think. Like, just because that's the most optimal build that's going to exist for these armies.
Yeah, because you see that like that extra AP at half range. Is that a dynasty or a stratagem?
Dynasty.
Yeah, is great for like the detachment with all your warriors in it, or immortals or something like that. Whereas your ones with the extra advance is great for your like
Praetorians can't get it, but wraiths and all that. Yeah.
So why not, right? Why not maximize that?
Yeah, and like it just feels, this one like almost feels like the return to formations, but maybe that's just like my old way of thinking of it.
No, I think the Dark Eldar, which are next on the list, are the return of formations.
So,
which we'll start talking about right now. Dark Eldar are coming out after Necrons. They're going to be super cool. We've got about a couple things that have come out as a
we got preview. The Cabals and the piratey guys.
Yeah. So one of the coolest things that have come out with the Dark Eldar is they are completely shattering how armies are usually built around detachments. So instead of being like, oh, you only get command points if you have a vanguard, onslaught, whatever, battalion, brigade, super heavy detachment, the Dark Eldar guys get 4 command points if they have 3 detachments, and 8 command points if they have 6 detachments.
That are patrols.
Specifically. So that is brand new, very different, and completely unprecedented. And I think
also fluffy.
Super fluffy. Adam, you wanna fill me back up there?
Yeah.
You can have mine.
Okay.
Yeah, we also don't have to kill this. We could move on to the next
Okay, yeah, bows would be nice to...
Yeah, switch it up.
Yeah. Because you guys are going heavy on the sours, and...
Yeah.
Paul had enough of that.
I can't do this.
Yeah, but there's just some awesome stuff coming out from that. But I think in terms of like what we're going to see in the future, is that type of thing might be what Paul said, like more of a return to the detachment type feel.
Yeah, or maybe
formation type feel.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or honestly, maybe it's just like a way of getting players like us who don't like the idea of like spammy stuff to not spam, but take groups of singular purpose units where it's like, this is my assault detachment, this is my shooty detachment, and you don't have to double up on like every good shooty unit. You can just have a good shooty part of your army. You know what I mean? And like, I think if that fixes the like, oh, I'm gonna take this one unit that works the best, I'm gonna take it 5 times because it's the best unit. Like, if you're getting a more varied army build, you're selling more varied units and more varied models, and you got a better collection too.
Yeah.
And for me, I think this is a good commitment in direction for me for Games Workshop, because it's it's a, to me, in my mind, it's a commitment to keeping the fluff in line with the rules, right? Like, the reason they did a whole bunch of different patrols is because Dark Eldar is kind of like, they're not splintered, but they're kind of like their own little pirate raiding forces. And so to give you benefits for designing your army like that is a wonderful direction that they need to keep going towards.
Yeah, because they don't fight under... One person is not literally on the comm with everybody else in the Dark Eldar force being like, suppressing fire and we're going to flank right. It's like you said, 3 or 4 distinct forces doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this is a gang war of an army. Like,
and if they continue to move that direction and continue to cut down on things, which I think they will cut down on the flying hive tyrant spam.
Yep.
Right, they're going to continue to cut down on those things and continue to give benefits for building armies that feel like what they're supposed to feel like.
Yep.
Right, and to me, when we're talking about direction of Games Workshop, that is a good direction to continue in.
And I really like the carrot approach and not the stick.
did I say that?
You
or did I
did.
just think that?
You said that earlier, but about something else. But I've always liked that saying, like enticing people to like Dark Eldar can still build a brigade if they want to,
Totally.
right? But giving somebody a benefit to building 3 patrol detachments is better than restricting somebody from doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the less we have to have our own comp system at our own events because Games Workshop's building it right in,
Yep.
the better for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, the happier I am.
So that kind of goes into the next point we have, which is the new FAQ.
It's delayed.
It's delayed, but we're definitely going to see, and this goes back to Adam's point earlier, the new Tau Codex had this as well, where it said you can only have 1 Tau commander per detachment. And the same thing happened with the Imperial Guard Codex, where they said you can only have 1 Militarum Tempestus command squad per dude with the rod.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're actually restricting that kind of like super efficient unit. So I would ideally, it would be cool to see this done, and it doesn't really matter to all factions, but like big HQ units like Chapter Masters, Chaos Lords, maybe even Demon Princes. Unless there's something else around them, they should be limited to 1 per detachment. Because you're not going to see 5 Demon Princes fighting side by side. Ever. They're going to fight each other first.
Unless you've got, like...
Abaddon there.
Yeah.
Like, get in line.
Or, yeah, like... I mean, Demon Princes is a bad example because there are...
War bosses.
Yeah, like...
War bosses, they're going to kill each other before they even look at anybody
Supreme
else.
Command Detachment of War Bosses, right? It's like...
What?
Yeah. So, and
Unless Thraka's there, they're not going to do anything besides punch each other in the face until one of them falls down.
It would actually be a cartoon fight cloud just rolling across a battlefield. Just punches and dust.
Yeah, sweet.
You're right.
Has anybody watched Z Nation, that TV show?
No. I
watched
started
the
watching
first
it
episode.
years ago when it first came out.
Right. So they've released a couple more seasons. There's 2 funny moments that kind of remind me of what you're talking about. One is like, it's been like, I don't know, 6 or 8 years that the zombie apocalypse has been on for, and there's like basically no humans left. And so one of the things that happens is the zombies just start eating each other, and there become these like tumbleweeds of zombies just rolling around.
Where's the beer opener?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
here it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's under your stupid iPad.
Get out of here.
Stupid iPad.
So this is an Ontario favorite. This is a Bose Lug Tread Lagered Ale.
If you've been to a bar, you've probably seen it.
It's fantastic. Bose is a classic around here. For those of our listeners around the world, come visit and try one.
Yeah, and go to Seascape. They sell pictures of it for $15.
Nice. Canadian. So for our American friends, that's like
$3.
So then the other thing that happens is that they go through this one town that has like this novelty, like gigantic cheese wheel. And
We're not parse that out fairly.
here,
No, you guys are good. Drink your beer.
All right.
we'll do cheers too.
Yep.
Right here.
Fine.
So,
Oh,
fun fact, the
perfect.
thing that you just did, for those of you listening at home, Adam poured some of his beer into Nick's beer. And that's where the tradition of cheersing comes from.
Yeah, it does.
So the idea was, like, I'd pour some into mine, you'd pour some into yours, and we'd be like, well, if you poisoned me, we're both going down. But if you trusted the person, you just clink glasses and be like, we don't need to do that because there's no poison in here. I trust you.
That's also why in a lot of Eastern European cultures, it's insulting if somebody toasts you to toast your glass above them. You're supposed to toast your glass below them so they can pour their drink into your glass.
Okay. I always go
That happened to
above.
me once, and I'm like, someone got really angry at me. I was like, what?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the cheese wheel they released down this mountain, and it just like ran over a bunch of zombies, and they had all these zombies stuck in this cheese wheel, and it just kept rolling off.
What
You
kind
don't-
of cheese
you don't
was
see
it?
what happened. I don't know.
Probably a Emmental.
Yeah, but it had been around for a few years, so I don't know if you'd want to eat it. Well, I mean, I guess cheese lasts a while.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah, so maybe
It's just slow milk, man.
So what else do you guys think is going to be in the FAQ? And keep in mind, because everyone on the internet is like, we're going to see this dropped in points. No.
No.
There's no points changes.
I think Dark Reapers, hopefully they figure out actually how to do characters.
This is an FAQ. Do you think this isn't? Is this
is
an
not
errata?
Sometimes
You're-
they do
yeah,
sneak
you're-
in errata
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
but-
you're gonna, like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have errata stuff in here. Because they do it with codexes. Like,
Yep.
codex comes out, 2 weeks later, there's an errata.
Yeah, that's fair.
So-
So it would be interesting.
This would be that's a great question for people who are like super high level competitive stuff where they run into those weird scenarios where like, how does this interact with this that interacts with that?
Yeah. Dark Reapers, to me, one of the biggest things that just needs to be changed is the always hitting on threes no matter what. I don't know if that can be addressed in an FAQ, but to me, it's just an absolute bonkers rule. It's like if I move and I'm firing at a flying unit, I'm still hitting on threes.
Yeah, that's it. So that's an interesting point because basically the minus to hit is one of the few defensive bonuses you can be intentional about.
Yes.
Because cover is only +1 armor, which is not that big of a deal anymore.
Not when
so-
you're dealing with something that has -3 AP.
Yeah, so the game is heavily bent towards being offensive rather than defensive because you can't intentionally put yourself in defensive positions as much. Right?
Yeah.
That's purely based on unit positioning and that kind of stuff and how you set traps and counter charges and that. But that's totally different from capitalizing on the gaming table, which you used to be able to do a lot before.
Yeah.
And so that totally circumvents one of the only intentional defensive tactics in the game, which is to take units with minus to hit or give them buffs that are minus to hit or something like
Yes.
that. So that is something that's really powerful, but that's still an errata type thing. Yeah.
I honestly think for them it's a points thing. The fact that Dark Reapers are 25 points all in, they're literally the same amount of points as a las cannon or a missile launcher. You're just like, what?
Missile launcher is my go-to thing I point at to freak out.
There's like 25 points buys you either one missile launcher with nobody carrying it or an Eldar dude with these special rules and no missile launcher.
Yeah. How many firing modes does a Dark Reaper have?
Just two.
Oh, just two? Yeah.
And they're better.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a crack missile with a flat 3 damage, which I'll take over D6 damage any day.
Yeah, firing thunder hammers at someone? Hilarious.
Or strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage with 2 shots.
Yeah, which is so good.
Which is
because
super
we already talked about how Strength 5 is amazing right
Yeah.
now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know what else we'll see in the FAQ, but I'm really curious how they handle some of the ongoing things going on.
Yeah, it's going to be like, especially with so many codexes coming out, there's going to be a lot of rules interactions that are going to start conflicting with each other, and they're going to have to clarify what takes precedence over what, and how do certain things interact with each other. I think that's going to be the main focus of it.
Like, I would love to get an idea of how, like, the writer's room works, because I think it's not even a thing.
No.
Like, as I said it, I was like, I don't have a writer's room.
I like that this beer tastes like a farm.
Yeah. This beer tastes like beer.
Yeah, it does.
It's got like that hay
Yeah.
flavor to it.
No, it's like legit hay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely hay.
So
That wraps it up for our main topic.
Well, I do want to talk about the one thing.
Okay, don't talk about that.
Not that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not this thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's not what I want to talk
Or
about.
this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not either of those things.
Awesome.
So it's related to the new Age of Sigmar army that they said they're going to release.
Oh, yes.
And since we're talking about the direction of GW,
Yeah,
I
The
want to.
Sea Elves.
That's it. So they released this interesting new army, depending on what side of the fence you sit on aesthetically, whether it's pleasing to you or not. But the point I want to bring up is just the direction of model kit making that they seem to be going in right now, that I absolutely love, which is very dynamic, very original, new and creative, and not to me this army shows me that Games Workshop does not want to be in the same place they were 20 years ago and just keep remaking the same thing.
I think most of their efforts focused on Age of Sigmar right now as far as models,
Design?
to be honest.
No, I
Go into a Games Workshop, look at the models, and be like, what's been released in the past year? Most of it, by far the majority, is Age of Sigmar stuff.
Yeah, because they blew up the setting, and they needed stuff that looked like GW things. Because everything else was like, oh, this is a Bretonian knight army. It looks like knights. This is like a Wood Elf army. It looks like Toklan knights.
All I'm saying is for the past little while,
Yeah.
the main focus on new models is Age of Sigmar, not 40k.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't mind.
Not at all. 'cause
I don't mind.
What have we got? Death Guard and Primaris.
Mm-hmm.
Basically it.
Custodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, come on. That's that's exciting.
Yeah.
True.
and
It
New
was
Knight.
exciting.
But that's not a fully fleshed out faction. That's like 3-4 units.
Yeah, but they didn't have to blow up any factions. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is new stuff they're giving us. Whereas, like, there's no High Elves anymore. There's no Dark Elves. They have to, like, completely remake these things.
there's no dwarves.
Yeah.
They're Sky Dwarves.
There are now.
Yeah.
Like considering they're remaking essentially an entire model range for an entire game that is so that people expect to operate at the level of 40k or fantasy used to operate. They're doing, like, I understand that the level of focus that needs right now to get up to snuff, but the point is the direction of these models, I think, illustrates the creative direction that the studio is going to move.
Yes.
Even with the future of 40k.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Because one last thing that was in the FAQ, which I'm super stoked for, is Chaos is going to be getting an update in early 2019.
Yeah, and including the models, right? Which
That's
is very
what
exciting.
I care
for
way
Chaos.
more about the models
Yeah.
than the
Oh,
the
man.
rules.
Berserkers need an update. Abaddon needs an update. That's pretty much like, and the basic Chaos Marine, but no one takes Chaos Marines.
New Noise Marines would be great, but I love mine.
Yeah, like,
I wouldn't buy New Noise Marines.
but going back to your point
Yes, I
about the new Deep Elves,
Well,
Kin?
just
Deep
just the creative direction they're going with that.
like
Yeah.
I really think that like some of these designs are intimidating to new players, though.
Yeah, so
'Cause,
let's explore that. So there's two sides to this. One of the pros is they're amazing.
Oh yeah, like they're
Super creative, original, new, dynamic, interesting. Whether you like the sea element or not, doesn't matter to me.
There's an awesome model of like a guy writing something on a scroll, and there's just this like stern-looking octopus behind him. I was like, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy it and paint it because like,
That's super cool.
yeah, right?
So the con side of it is because of that, because they're pushing the envelope so much. Is you said it, Paul? Right? It's going to be intimidating for people that feel like they can't keep up with the painting techniques maybe that are necessary to do justice to those models.
And this is my personal observation, but when I go to Sword and Board or a game store and I see a 40k game being played, I'd say 7 out of 10 times the models are painted to a decent standard. When I go to Sword and Board on a Friday night and watch Age of Sigmar being played, 3 out of 10 armies are painted. 7 out of 10 armies are just bare plastic or primed.
Yeah,
for
but
Age, for Age of Sigmar stuff.
When like let's look at the purchase time though. Like it's the newest range versus 40k.
No, I'm talking like Oryx and like some of the stuff that came out with Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, but it's got like way more new adopters.
Yeah.
So like they're going to be.
Hopefully,
I hope so.
It's
But
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, to that point, I think a lot of people play Age of Sigmar for its gameplay, and they like the gameplay.
Yeah.
I agree with you that I think the intricacy of the models is a little bit of a woe factor for people who aren't like the best painters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're doing a good job. Like Duncan's out there spreading the word. you
Yep.
know? Like,
Yeah, so that's how we frame this. If they keep supporting people in progressing in their hobbying abilities, this is a good direction to keep going in.
mhm.
Yes.
And so far, they've done a great job at that.
It goes back to what I was saying. Own your products.
Yeah.
Like,
You
if
sell paint? Do things that help you sell paint.
yeah, like you sell armies, sell me an army building rig on my pocket talk computer, my Tinder machine. Like,
Here's your Tinder. I'm pretty sure you were texting a girl for half this episode.
no, that was texting someone who is a girl, not a girl.
Sure. Okay.
I didn't get the nuance there, but sure.
I got
Let's
it.
keep going.
I got it.
But yeah, like there's some models in this new range that like I would be intimidated to paint.
the wave, the guy surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge, right? That's exactly.
yeah.
It's another. I mean, it's almost like Eve Rains. If you haven't seen this new model,
Yeah.
right? The Eve Rain with the huge warping energies. The same idea, right? This big tidal wave coming up into this guy's cloak. Like, how do you paint a transition like that?
Yeah, it's not. That's advanced painting techniques.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, man. They also are building like creating models that once they're built they're impressive. So like if you do leave them as bare plastic, it's like that's still pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I know that you.
I'm
This
not
is not implied in your comment that it's okay to leave it like that because you're a painting guy. I know
Right.
you are.
Yeah.
But just to be clear for everyone out there, he's not implying that.
No, I'm not saying don't paint your models, but I'm saying get Adam to paint them.
Or just
Battle
push,
Brothers
or
Studio.
just push yourself to try new things and
Yeah.
paint it.
Yeah, which could be because now that they have this huge base of people who've been playing this game for 30 years now since it came out. You know, and obviously everyone is at varying levels within that. But it's kind of cool to be like, hey, people who've been doing this for a while, here's something new to challenge yourself model-wise. And that could be interesting too. So I'm excited about all of that.
The future holds many cool things.
I kind of want to paint some fish because there's so in that metallic set that I got from
Fish people?
the warpainter.com. There's like a little tutorial on like here's how you would paint salmon, like the salmon scales.
Nice.
I was like, that is so random. When would I ever use this? And then they like dropped all these models. I was like, do I just go paint fish now?
Painting those deepkin as like the salmon scale guys instead of like the deep turquoise blue would be so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
There you
I was saying to
Paul's
you,
gonna start Age of Sigmar.
no, I might just buy one or two models. I definitely want Stern Octopus guy.
He's starting Age of Sigmar.
Oh, frig.
So
I
we,
see Paul paint a giant turtle with elves on his back. He won't paint a knight, but he'll paint a giant turtle with elves.
and count us as a knight.
What is that? That's my night.
Yeah. The shell's yellow.
I'm just really proud of
I
it.
weathered the shell.
Oh, how would you even weather a shell?
So yeah, stay tuned, guys, because we have 2 fun times coming up.
Yeah.
Back to back.
One is a podcast exclusive due to a time-sensitive issue.
Fun time.
Fun time.
Reset the clock. Plastic Sisters confirmed.
Yeah, it's
I
coming
thought we
out.
weren't supposed to wake the baby. It's just screaming in excitement.
That's a ways away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I this is a troll.
Troll by Gino. No. Don't
No,
even
they wouldn't
Don't
do
plant
that.
that seed in my
They
mind.
actually released a. It does say Emperor Willing, but they released a YouTube video saying that they're going to release Plastic Sisters, Emperor Willing,
I do
in
think
2019.
I think we're gonna get boo plate though. Like,
Oh yeah, they're going to be. I'm. You know what? I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it as long as they move to a little bit more practical. Like, seeing the design
They're
change.
nuns in armor.
hold up. Seeing the design change from the Primaris armor, the differences between Space Marine armor and the Primaris armor, there's some thought into how armor functions.
Fair enough, yeah.
That's all I need. I don't
Okay.
like people being like, "Oh, the cleavage is a shell trap." Sure, but also they're like nuns with guns in space. So let's.
That's an interesting point. It's sad that we're talking about this first, but sure.
Oh, sorry.
Since we're there, the female Age of Sigmar lady does not have the boob trap,
Yeah.
bullet trap. Boob
so it's like
thing.
at least someone's thinking about that.
Yeah.
We can just move on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm most excited because of my previous point on Games Workshop going this kind of creative route and continuing to push the element with this. I really hope that they make this army super unique. Like, as a Sisters player myself, I'm expecting something that's not just Space Marines with Toughness 3, Strength 3.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and I think your troops are going to be that. I think you're going to like see just a regular Sister Sator. How do you pronounce that?
Adeptus Sororitas.
Adeptus Sororitas. Just being that, but the way that they'll interact with the rest of one model will just be like
Totally.
But the entire army is going to function way different than your
and
other...
I hope my troops are still regular gals in power armor.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to feel like I'm playing Toughness 3 Space Marines.
No, like maybe a little bit more innate. Some cool. I mean, they're going to keep the axe. Like whatever's in the index, they're going to keep shades of that.
Maybe.
Right.
And I still like that.
Yeah.
I like that element. It makes it not feel like you're playing Space Marines, right? Because the way I design my army all the time is just, put your girls in rhinos, and they're just like Space Marines, but they have less cool toys to choose from, right? You get meltaguns, you get flamers, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just a Space Marine with Toughness 3 that doesn't get plasma, it doesn't get a rocket launcher, it doesn't get... but, like, the character models, I hope they just add units that we've never seen before. I'm excited for where they can take this, and as a Sisters player, like, most people aren't open to change. This is me saying, I'm super open to change. You know?
Give me a 1-point stratagem to use whenever you want that makes a flamer 12-inch range. That would do so much for the Sisters army.
Sure, I mean, their tanks have that. Like, Immolators have a 12-inch flamer.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Now,
It's so dirty.
stick that on all of your squads. Someone tries to charge them from outside of 9 inches.
Yeah.
Pop one, whoosh. No. Burn it all.
I like it.
Yeah.
But, this is the kind of... I think, their stratagems are going to be nuts. I think a lot of Acts of Faith, that might not be its own mechanic, but it might be represented through stratagems.
I'm open to that.
Holy Prometheum.
Cool.
Yeah.
Roast them demons.
Yeah. But model-wise, like, if Saint Celestine is a representative of the direction that they might go with that, which I'm not convinced that that's true.
Yeah.
Because I think they finally have decided they're going to redo the Sisters, but I think that decision came after that model was made and released.
Probably.
Well, I think it must have been in the pipe for a while.
The thought, and maybe
Yeah.
it's going to be somewhere in this time frame or somewhere in our 5 to 10 year plan, and we're kind of at that point, and they were like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
I guess my point was, the Celestine model is kind of representative of that, super dynamic Age of Sigmar model, right? The cool new wings, the neat, scrolly things that are kind of holding her up. And if they can make the whole range kind of dynamic and really cool like that, I'm open to that.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see them have a full codex again.
Yeah.
And fleshed out. And I really hope it'll be fleshed out as much as... I hope it's not and the Custodes were cool, but I hope it's not like a Custodes release. Like a fully fledged faction on their own. And that doesn't just include Sisters, right? That includes the entire Adeptus Ministorum.
See, I would like
Right?
it if if the way that we're doing Dark Eldar, where it's I really want you to be able to do a pure Sisters force with no priests if you don't want them, no Inquisitor, the way that the Witch Hunter book was. I would like a pure Sisters force.
Which you could do with that Witch Hunter Codex.
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, that was like the competitive way to play it, because all the witch huntery stuff was kind of just fluff on top.
Yeah.
But I agree. If it was like take 3 patrol detachments and get a benefit, and then you can have each patrol detachment flavored each way, or all the same way. It doesn't matter to me what you do, but you have those options.
And like, if you're gonna bring back the inquisitorial stuff, give me inquisitorial stormtroopers again.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, remake those models.
those models are cool.
Yeah.
The Karaska.
No. The pre-Casterkin. The
Yeah,
pre-Casterkin.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
those guys.
So the actual stormtroopers.
Yes,
Yeah.
the original ones where there was like very plain plate.
Well, the second iteration
Yeah.
of those, because there were
Yeah.
ones that just looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and they all had berets, and they
Oh,
sucked.
yes.
After those guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With the cool, like, hoods, with the... Anyway.
They looked like battle hazmat suits.
Yes, they did. Yeah, that's
And
a
I-
great way to
And
describe
I was like, yeah, that's what I would want. Like,
Well, if I'm going to go clean out a hive of heretics, I don't want to touch their goop.
there's a lot of goops.
There's
Sir.
a lot of goop after you fire a shotgun with homing explosive shells into a home.
So there's a lot of goop. Get the suits.
You guys said goop.
But yeah, like I think the Sisters book, we're going to see a lot of cool models.
So here's the suggestion. I'm willing to give up rhinos. I'm willing to give up immolators. I'm willing to give up my exorcist.
You want repressors.
Just like, I'm willing to give up my repressor. Like, seriously, remake the range so that it's
Okay.
nothing based on Space Marine stuff. That's what the Rhino is right now, right? It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's built on a Space Marine
Chassis,
kit
yeah.
and chassis.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me excited is Forge will put out those, what are they called? I forget.
Oh, the termites.
No, the repressors.
No. The Sisters of Battle things that float around with the crazy dune-looking...
Oh,
yeah,
Sisters of Silence.
The
Sisters of Silence.
Acquisitors.
That's it. Yeah, something like that.
Acquisitioners.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like this is a cool flavor direction we could go with the
Yeah.
style of that army.
Oh, I don't think the Sisters will go.
Because that's very much like a black ship thing.
But you know what? That is a place. No, I don't think that they'd roll the Sisters of Silence. Into
No,
the
they're
Sisters of
very,
Battle,
very different.
just because they're women.
No, they're different. They're completely different.
Yeah, and so all I'm saying is this could be like go creative and out of the box and something that we haven't seen before. You know what I mean? Because the way they introduced that transport for the Sisters of Silence, it was like very unique. That was cool. It was like this floating transport that was totally different from any model we've seen before.
Oh, I
I'm
see
saying
what you're
I want the same treatment.
Yeah.
Like, don't treat the Sisters of Battle like they're Space Marines,
That's fair.
and make it cool. Have fun with it. I'm saying GW, you have my permission, not that you need it, to have fun with it.
I would be really surprised and like pleasantly surprised if they moved away from the Rhino chassis, though. I would I agree with you. I'd love to see that move away. I mean, but I don't think you're going to.
Yeah.
Because it invalidates a lot of old builds.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's okay with me as a person who owns a rather large, fully painted Sisters of Battle army.
Well, I mean,
Like
if you want-
I'm standing on my historical credibility here and saying it's okay with me.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you want, I can dump it on the pavement again.
That's one way to get rid of it. Give me an excuse to buy new models. Paul.
Well, that's our first fun time. Plastic Sisters. Yay.
Yay.
2019. Emperor willing.
Fun time remix. Yeah, that's good too.
So this is a special podcast only announcement.
If you're listening to this on Friday, happy Friday. Nick, go on.
Sure. So I am extremely pleased to introduce.
Just Nick, not we. That's super crazy to do. But
Well, you
whatever.
gave me the pleasure of introducing it to
I
everybody.
know, but okay.
So
go on,
include
yeah.
us in that.
Okay. I am extremely pleased to introduce, on behalf of everybody here.
Sorry.
You're giving me an honor in introducing it, so I am pleased to accept that honor in introducing it.
Okay, you twisted. You twisted a little bit. You caught me off guard.
That was really good.
I should have assumed the best as opposed to
Yes.
the normal.
I'm pleased to announce, on behalf of Hogtown 40K, everybody who's put time and effort into getting this thing moving, the Hogtowner 2018 edition. This is the biggest event that we've ever tackled as a club, and it's going to be awesome. We're talking 2 days. We're talking 6 rounds, match play rules. We got some additional stuff going on. 1750 points, and we're talking beer. We're talking gourmet, grilled cheese, breakfast, coffee, all in the heart of downtown Toronto, and it's going to be awesome.
That's going to be your fun time this summer.
Yes.
Everybody's
the
fun
listeners' fun time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing July 28th and 29th, literally blocks away from Dundas and Spadina at the Beverly Halls. If you're listening to this and you haven't already seen it on Facebook, check Facebook, because the announcement will be posted live. It'll be open for 1 month to club members first. It's $115. No, that sounds steep. You're going $115. Again, that's 6 rounds. There's going to be beer available. It's going to be fully licensed. I can't emphasize that enough. Beer is going to be available. There's also going to be food. Lunch will be provided both days, along with breakfast both days. And we've already guaranteed, now I'm not going to give you a number, a lot of prize support.
All right, so I got to edit that out.
More is on the way. There's going to be tons of prizes, sportsmanship, painting.
Basically all the good stuff that Hogtown does, except bigger.
Yeah. We're going to get a whole cow for the butcher prize.
Wow.
I'm going to slaughter it in front of you, Apocalypse Now style.
Like, I'm going for butcher prize if it's a whole
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah, that's like $1,500.
That's it?
I don't know, how much is a cow?
I think I'm just going to buy a whole cow now.
We could do a cow share.
Yeah, we
do
could
it.
totally do a cow share. It's a great idea. I've had friends who do it. You just put it in the freezer and you're good.
Cow doesn't like it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've bred the intelligence out of that species. They got no more feelings.
Dark.
awkward.
It's our crowning event. It's called the Hogtowner.
So here's what's special about this.
Okay.
All your life has been leading to this moment. That's what's special. You had something a little less crazy to say, Adam?
Yeah. Okay, so and it just the trajectory we've been on as a club. We've grown fast, especially the last 12 months. We're at the point where our regular events that we do are just not enough, because we do 20-person events at most. We have 100 paid members,
Yep.
and they sell it in 24 hours. And it's just not fair to everyone in the club.
No.
Right? Nobody gets like, everybody can't get the true experience now.
It's true.
So this is the exciting thing, is that we've grown beyond this kind of like living room group of friends.
The Garage Hammer is in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this is really a draw, and this event is exciting because the way that it links that is we can finally support. If think about this, half the club only.
Yeah.
Still
Still
and this
only
is the
half the
biggest
club.
event we've ever
Yes.
run, right?
Yep.
And so even if only half the club showed up, it would still be sold out.
Yes.
And it's just really cool the direction the club is going, and the reason this kind of necessitates this event is just that we have a bunch of guys who love what we're about, who love the vision of Hogtown 40K, and it's kind of a necessity born out of just a bunch of guys who just want to play games.
Yes. Adam coming at you with the deep heart feels. I'm going to hit you with the cold hard facts one more time before we sign off for the evening.
Do it.
July 28th, 29th, beer. Also food, also Warhammer. There's also going to be some vendors there. $115 gets you everything you need for the weekend. Bring deodorant. We're not bringing any for you.
Yeah. Don't worry, the player pack's going to have a list of essential items.
It's true.
We'll have the warpainter.com with some eclectic spray paint that just spray paint people's armpits.
No axe. Absolutely no axe.
You know what? I'll take Axe over sweaty July butt.
It's true. This place has AC.
Oh,
So we're good. But yeah, you want in, become a club member. If you're not a club member,
what are you doing?
yeah, what are you doing? $20, Hogtown 40K. And you can register for the event at the same time as all of our club members. I'm excited, guys. I'm really stoked.
It's going to be good.
And
I can take it or leave it.
huge shout out to Mr. James Johnson, who got the ball rolling on this. You're the heart of this event, James.
You're the real MVP.
You're the real MVP.
Cool, just step on my bed. Butt stuff.